All right, guys, first drive in the snow, of course. We're picking the E46. This will be interesting, to say the least. The key to driving in the snow, especially with a car, is momentum, which we have pretty much none right now. Hold on, where's, I don't even know where traction control is in this car. Does it even have it? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, we're getting a little sideways. We're getting a little excited. We have like at least, wow, this has like no traction. We have at least like 4 inches of snow. I do have winter tires for this car, but ironically enough, they're actually not on. So that's kind of stupid on my end, but I guess my theory was, if the roads are that bad, I'll just take the truck. And what do you know, as usual, we get onto the main road, and the roads are just kind of wet. So let me put my seatbelt on before you guys freak out on me. But I did turn traction off. The little DSC button here in the middle. It's funny because I'm not usually like hooning around in this car and needing to turn traction off, so I had to look for it for a second. But as soon as I did that, the wheels were allowed to spin, which means I was able to actually start some momentum. That's the thing that I like to do, is especially even when I had my Jeep, or really any vehicle, 4-wheel drive, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all I do is just turn off traction, and you do a lot more sliding, but you can actually drive and get up to speed safely and things like that. So that's what I like to do, is I'll just leave traction off. I'm just gonna have to remember that traction is off, and I will be sliding around a lot more. So obviously, as you guys can see, the roads where I live right outside of Columbus are actually fine. There's sort of the edge here where it's really not ideal. So if you drive in the middle of your lane, like where you're supposed to be driving, you'll probably be okay, but there is kind of a lot of this like slush crap. Like my left front tire is kind of against, which is not a great feeling. But these all-season tires, I actually have the AS3 Plus tires. I actually got new front tires recently, so I am rocking these. But truthfully, we don't really get a lot of snow, and if the roads are like this, these AS3s are going to be just fine, generally speaking. So we might have some time and opportunity for a little bit of fun. Try to find like a vacant lot or somewhere safe where there's really not like a lot of people or light posts or anything like that. Might as well use this as an opportunity to update you guys on the E46. The E46 has been painful to own recently over the last month, I'm not gonna lie. Mainly because the cooling system. I had a couple of leaks from the cooling system. Yeah, see, we're I had a couple of leaks from the cooling system. One of them actually was from the cap, which had already been replaced like 2 years ago. So that was a little frustrating that I did like the entire cooling system when one of the leaks was from the cap, which is kind of silly. But I did that, and then I went for a drive and it was still leaking. So then I replaced the rest of the parts that had already been done like 2 or 3 years ago. And then I noticed it was still leaking from, I believe, one of the drain plugs, which is like a plastic plug. You have to use like a metal screwdriver, and it starts like chipping away and smushing the plastic. So I might not have tightened one of those little drain plugs down for the coolant enough. So hopefully after like this drive I'll go test it. But that is the update on the E46. I haven't really been driving it a lot. I actually drove the truck the last few weeks, especially because this car was down, and then I had to order parts, and of course this car had no coolant in it. It was all up on the Rhino ramps and all that stuff. So anyways, it's nice to get the car back out. And you might be saying, Brandon, why the heck are you taking this car when you have a truck? Like, you have 4-wheel drive, you have big tires. big beefy Raptor stuff. Don't you want to do that? Well, I do. But I just washed it, and I know that sounds like really wimpy, but I just washed the truck, and this car was already dirty. And like, look at the roads. Like, that's pretty much the equivalent of like rain. You know, the roads are just wet. This was like the one that I was using the last week or so, so might as well just continue using it. Yeah, see, this is interesting. This road is not nearly, this must be like a different county. Whoa. Yeah, see, if you guys see on the camera, the middle here, this road might have been plowed at some point, maybe last night, but this is what we don't want. So this is the reason why the truck would make sense. I mean, you can pull it off in a car, but as soon as you start to graze that little middle section with your tires, it really, like, it's much harder to control the car. You know, and then there's like a ditch down there, and there's a light posts everywhere, you know, so you really have to pay attention. I'm sure this is like kind of redundant and silly to talk about because you guys are probably avid like drivers, and if you live near, you know, a place that gets snow, you're familiar with how to drive. Probably if you're watching this channel, I don't have like a lot of whatever, immature people who don't know what they're doing and think that they're really smart and that kind of thing that watch this channel. So I'm sure what I'm saying is a little redundant, but it is something that I think about and that's kind of interesting, and I feel like I've always done videos on things that I thought was interesting despite what the masses think, and I feel like you guys kind of appreciate that. So that's why we're sort of talking through things that are a little silly, but nonetheless, it's part of life that we will live in our 18-year-old E46 ZHP, baby. Yeah, see, it's like straight up raining right now. See, what I can do is just give it the beans. And the wheel is like to the right. I'm going like sideways, totally sideways. Yeah, even with the slush stuff, wow. See, I haven't actually driven in snow like this. Wow. Wow! Have an issue, you have to know when to stop. That was a little fun, quick update for you guys on the E46. We're gonna call it a day, and I will see you guys next time.